It's interesting, isn't it, that on Good Friday it happened the very same day in the celebration of the Jewish Passover that they sacrificed the lambs and painted the doorposts of their homes with blood to remember how God had delivered them in the Exodus, in the last of the 10 plagues that God used to convince Pharaoh to let his people go. Exodus, it means departure. It means that God got his people out, getting out. In the New Testament, when Jesus was transfigured on the mountaintop with his disciples and visited with Moses and Elijah, they talked about the reality that Jesus' exodus was really close. His time of departure, more profoundly, as the Exodus was the major saving event of the Old Testament, where God intervened to release his people from slavery to the Egyptians and Pharaoh. Jesus had come for his Exodus to be the major salvific moment for the climax of eternity coming to the world to deliver us. It's the departure, it's the getting out, it's the getting of God's people out. And you remember when he was in the upper room with his disciples and he was washing the disciples' feet, it says that Jesus knew that the time had come for his exodus. And so he stripped down and girded himself with a towel and he washed their feet. So on Good Friday, when Jesus hangs on a cross and bleeds out, what are we getting out of? Important to remember. We're getting out of condemnation. We're all lawbreakers, you know. God in his wisdom and love knows the best way to live in this world, and God gives the gift of the law to stand against the evil and the darkness of the world. But we always think we know better, and in my weakness, I also break the law. And so I stand guilty. Remember, it says in Romans, the wages of sin is death. But on the cross, Jesus proclaims that though we deserve that judgment, that we receive grace. What else, when Jesus dies on the cross, are we getting out of? We're getting out of bondage to all that imprisons us, to all that limits us from all that we were intended to be when God gave us life. In the cross, the power of sin is broken so that you and I can be free from our sin, but also that we can be free from guilt or fear or anything that inhibits our ability to become children of God. So we get out of both condemnation and bondage to sin, both the past failures and the present tense struggles of a power that comes from the cross to liberate us to new beginnings. But there's one more thing that we get out of, our exodus, because of the cross of Jesus. And that's that we move from the kingdom of darkness into the kingdom of life and love and light. I might ask you, are you a Christian? And a lot of people, in answer to, are you a Christian, will answer, well, I'm a pretty good person, I'm trying. But if that's the answer, it shows that you haven't yet fully understood the message of the gospel or the cross of Jesus. We don't try our best to become a Christian. We place our faith, paradoxically, in a dying king so that the risen king can invite us to be in the kingdom. So because of the cross, we move from the kingdom of darkness into the kingdom of light. It's our status. It's our identity. So we have a faith in a king who dies, believing that the king will rise again. So which thief do you relate to? We can stand at the foot of the cross and we can shake our fist in defiance and say, God, you haven't done for me what I want. Or we can say, Jesus, remember me in your kingdom.